Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another video. Hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 10 favourite Chelsea players of all time. But before we get into that, just want to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also hit that like button because it helps out the videos as well. But let's get into this list. It's going to be interesting. This is of course my own personal list. It's going to be very much inspired by the players I've watched and witnessed play for Chelsea in my time supporting the club. So going to be some players from previous eras that aren't going to be on this list, but that's why the comment section is available. So you can go down there and give me your lists, and then we can debate. Because I am interested to hear your personal list and also your memories with some of these players as well. So let's get into it with number 10. Number 10 is Petr Cech, Chelsea's greatest ever goalkeeper, in my opinion. I think that's probably going to be uncontested given what he did at the club. 494 appearances, 228 clean sheets. We can go straight to Munich, the iconic performance that night, the heroics of his penalty saving that night, which were absolutely wonderful, and gave Chelsea a European Cup. But being a key part in the spine of Chelsea's team for a decade cements himself for me on this list. The legendary saves, the keeper in goal for that season in 04-05, where we only conceded 15 goals in that title-winning season. Absolutely incredible. And it's great now to have him back at the club, being in the fabric of Chelsea FC and really continuing his legacy at the club. Number 9 is the Magic Man, Cesc Fabregas. One of my favourite songs ever of a Chelsea player. To be honest, that's probably why he gets on this list. But it's not only that. Coming from North London to West London, being a rival player, being a player that Chelsea fans were not very fond of, and then turning into a player who was very much adored by the time he left Chelsea Football Club. The class and flair he instantly brought to Chelsea's midfield was something to behold. A joy to watch him glide across the pitch. A key figure in 2 title wins. Some of the assists were absolutely mesmerising. That pass on his Premier League debut for Chelsea against Burnley is one of the assists of Premier League history. Absolutely brilliant. And I think the fact that he left in tears, left the Stamford Bridge pitch in tears in 2019, showed you the impact and the bond he'd created with not only Chelsea Football Club, but the fans as well. And the fans had also got with him as well. I think that's what makes him such a key figure personally for me in my time supporting the club. Even if it was a shorter time, and even if, of course, he did spend a lot of time at Arsenal, I think he very much, for me, left his mark at Chelsea. So I loved watching Cesc play for Chelsea. So that's why he's on this list. Number 8, Branislav Ivanovic. Big goal Brana, the toughness, the ruggedness, the physicality, the big game mentality he had made him a key figure in Chelsea's success. One of the best right-backs in Premier League history. And then you look at his big goals, that really was the hallmarks of his career. You know, I think that the fact that he always had a knack to step up and score goals from that position really made him a hero. The top 2 that stand out are, of course, that Napoli winner in the second leg in extra time in the Champions League winning run. And, of course, that winner in the dying seconds of the Europa League final against Benfica, that towering header. Scenes that will stay in Chelsea fans' memories for a long time. So that's why he makes this list as well. Number 7 is Claude Makélélé, a player that transformed the role and made it his own. The Makélélé role that has been talked about for years and transformed the position, and a player that radically changed the way football looked at the defensive midfielder role, and having the anticipation to break up play to start new attacks made him priceless in Chelsea's team. Of course, we've now seen recently N'Golo Kante come into Chelsea and transform that role once again, but you cannot deny the influence Makélélé had not only in Chelsea but on the footballing world. Number 6 is Ashley Cole, the second player on this list to switch from North to West London, and what a great decision for him it was. The best left back probably in Premier League history, one of the greatest left backs to ever play the game of football. You know, I think the natural talent and an ability he had for that role puts him at the top of the list in terms of left backs when you're talking history. I think the natural talent not only he had for the defensive awareness of the game, but the immaculate timing of tackles, the way he'd shut down some absolutely brilliant attackers like the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, who always struggled to play against Ashley Cole. And there aren't many fullbacks who can say they had a good time against Cristiano Ronaldo, but Ashley Cole was one of them. And also the attacking part of his game, which grew in later years, scoring big goals under Carlo Ancelotti in the title-winning season of 09-10. And of course, being a key figure in that 2012 Champions League final. Maybe he left a little bit too soon, but I think he probably, in retrospect, left at the right time, you know, left on a high at Chelsea, and I think is a player that absolutely left his mark at Stamford Bridge. Number 5 is Eden Hazard, a magician, a wizard with the ball at his feet. Some of the most breathtaking goals I've ever seen live. The goal against Arsenal, the goal against West Ham, the goal against Tottenham. Love scoring against big London rivals, and there were so many other great moments as well. And I think A phenomenally talented player, a player that defined his era, coming just after the icons of the past and cementing himself as one of the best in Chelsea's history. So talented, such a rare talent to watch on a football pitch, the way he'd glide across a football pitch. You know, I never felt like I ever watched Eden Hazard sprint. Even when he was sprinting, he was doing it with such ease and guile, and the confidence he had on a football pitch is something that's so rare. And I think in terms of when I look at this list and all these players, of course, some absolutely incredible players on this list, but I think in terms of natural talent, raw talent, I think Eden Hazard probably is top of this list because just the things he could do on a football pitch. And even though, of course, he's moved now to Real Madrid, which was a move that did hurt a lot of Chelsea fans and was upsetting, I think the fact that he left on a high of that Europa League final, which was another absolutely world-class performance. But I think in time, people will remember Eden Hazard in the Chelsea shirt. So that's why he's in my top 5 Chelsea players of all time. Number 4 is Diego Costa. This is a very personal one for me. One of my favourite characters to ever put on a Chelsea shirt. A cult hero at Stamford Bridge for his antics on the pitch, the fight, hunger and desire, represented fans' passion for the club on the pitch, the goals, and I also think the underrated ability Costa had on the ball. You know, of course, so much of his antagonistic side, but I think his natural talent, world-class talent to hold up the ball, to bring other players into play, was something that, unlike one other player on this list, was unmatched really, and a forward that I think we still miss today at Stamford Bridge. It's so upsetting that his time at the club was so short, but it was sweet. He made himself really such a big figure at Stamford Bridge, and we got the best years out of him. He scored big goals and we won big titles because of it. So Diego Costa is number 4 on my list. So now we get to the top 3, which are pretty obvious, and it depends on sort of your list and the way you number these players and rank these players. So number 3 for me is Didier Drogba. 381 appearances, 164 goals, big goals. The ability to step up when required will be unmatched probably in the history of Chelsea Football Club, at least for a long time. Dragging Chelsea to our first European Cup, the big goals in league title wins, the FA Cup final goals, epitomising the winning mentality that took Chelsea to the top of the game. Didier Drogba is sort of unmatched in terms of being the best Chelsea striker, and I wouldn't put it past people saying Drogba is the greatest player in Chelsea's history, because look at the influence he's had in Chelsea's history. His right boot gave us our first European title, the greatest night in Chelsea's history. Probably the best image in Chelsea's history is him scoring that winning penalty in Munich in 2012. So he is an icon of Chelsea Football Club. In the Mount Rushmore, if you were to have a Mount Rushmore of Chelsea players, Didier Drogba's face would be on it. So the greatest striker in Chelsea's history. So he's number 3 for me. And number 2 is captain, leader, legend, JT, John Terry. 712 appearances, 66 goals for a centre-back is absolutely incredible, making him one of the most highest scoring centre-backs in Premier League history. Epitomised being captain for Chelsea, the greatest leader in Chelsea's history, the best centre-back for me in Premier League history. You're not going to change my mind on that one. And the ups and downs of his career as well. You know, of course, he was a world-class player. He had many ups, mostly ups in his career, but the struggles he had not only on but off the pitch as well, and adapting over a period of time. I think that's what cements him for me as the best defender in Premier League history, because whilst other defenders had struggles and when certain elements of their games faded as they got older, the 13-14 and 14-15 season under Jose Mourinho, I think proved and really cemented himself not only as, of course, the greatest in Chelsea's history, but, you know, one of the greatest in football history in terms of being a defender, because playing every minute of every Premier League game in a title-winning season at his age was absolutely incredible and really unmatched. So I think JT, the influence he's had at Chelsea, even if he is away from the club now, he still talks about Chelsea like he's still here, and he always will do, and he always will be one of the biggest figures in Chelsea's history, and rightly so. And number 1, it's going to be Frank Lampard. 648 appearances, 210 goals, Chelsea's greatest ever goal scorer, and in my opinion, Chelsea's greatest ever player. And also, on top of that, the best midfielder to ever play football. You're not going to change my mind on that. A class individual, a professional, symbolising the value that hard work gets you much further than just raw talent. But what talent he did have. The goals from midfield were inhuman to behold. The legendary moments, rounding Yuri Ascalon in 05 to win the Premier League title. The byline goal against Barcelona at the Nou Camp in 2006, the penalty against Liverpool in 08, the game against Villa where he became Chelsea's greatest ever goal scorer, really rounded off such an incredible career at Chelsea. And although, of course, leaving very abruptly in 2014, I think there were many fans, including myself, that felt he didn't get the proper farewell he absolutely deserved for his iconic time at Chelsea. But the fact that he's now returned to Stamford Bridge to continue his legacy as Chelsea's manager, hoping to create some more special memories in a different way, I think just puts him once again top of of this list as one of the most important figures in Chelsea's history, and for me, the greatest player. He's inspired me and many other fans. I think he's personally, for me, such a key figure, not only, you know, in terms of football, but in my life as watching Chelsea from a very early age. So for me, it's Chelsea's greatest ever player, in my opinion. So that is it for my list. Please let me know yours in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear your top 10 list, because they are, of course, going to vary to mine, but that's why the comments are there. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.